President John Dramani Mahama held his first media encounter at the presidency yesterday in the evening. The show started around 8 p.m. and I think roughly ended around 10 p.m. I think. But I think largely it was a very fruitful encounter because most of the questions that most of us had in our head, we were looking out that at least we will have some level of clarity with regards to that. The president did well to actually make sure that he introduced a bit of light into some of the things that we were actually pondering on. But one of the key things that stood out was the fact that the president actually said that the National Signal Bureau now has the tool to actually track people that are using hate speech on the internet, on social media platforms like TikTok, X, and the new media platforms.
The last time the GJA came to me, I mentioned to them that as the world changes and new technologies come, we're moving from not having just the traditional media into having what we call the new media. These are all the new social media instruments like TikTok, like Facebook, like X, and all of them. And so the traditional sense of journalists like you, most of you trained and working in media houses that have a corporate identity and can be held responsible for the information that you put out, is beginning to change. We have a new crop of I'll call them neo-journalists, who anybody with a phone and a camera can report news or comment on national issues. Now the point is, who holds those people responsible? And that's what he's saying. If you go to some of the WhatsApp platforms, or you go to some of the commentaries in the TikToks and others, we have what we call hate speech, incitement to violence. Those are criminal. Despite the fact that we have removed the criminal libel laws, there are some laws that make such people accountable. Because if we don't regulate that sector, it can lead this nation to war. There are some of the incendiary statements that have been made in the Boko situation that are fueling some of what is happening there, making people hate each other and see each other as enemies. It's been the same in the Gonja Brefo thing. Some people fanning and inciting violence against each other. This falls in the ambit of the National Signals Bureau. And so the National Signals Bureau now has the technology to use your IP number and find you wherever you are. So I'm sending a signal to Ghanaians that we can find you those doing those hate speech and things. We'll use your IP number, we'll trace you. And when we trace you, we'll deal with you under the criminal code for inciting violence and disturbance of the peace.
And it's a very interesting discovery, looking at how quiet recently we've had a lot of issue with regards to people that are going to that have been in the space of saying things that they will find themselves in police custody. Now, some people, I believe, are getting the whole communication a bit twisted, and I feel we need to actually set some things straight. What I heard the president say was kind of clear. He said that there's a lot of things that are going on the media, and with regards to the media, the journalism, we have the traditional media where we have a corporate form of media. So with that, people are trained, the journalists are trained. I mean, people that are going to speak on TV are trained. So there is this kind of corporate heads that ensure that they operate from this level of conduct, okay, so that they don't stir violence and maybe cause some bit of disunity among Ghanaians. So they are able to be controlled and handled well. But with the emergence of new media, you only need a phone and a camera like I'm doing to sort of put your ideas out there. And because of this, some people have taken advantage of this to sort of incite violence. And he made a clear example with regards to the Boko violence, whereby he believed that it's escalated to a certain extent because some people actually were spreading hate speech among themselves and inciting one person against another, and it's really made things bad. So for us not to head to a place of genocide, or where Ghana will find a place in, we will find our place in a chaotic space, there has to be a regulation, there has to be a balance that actually makes sure that these kind of new media platforms are regulated. Okay, so it wasn't necessarily based on the fact that you can't share your opinion on things, right? But the hate speech, from my understanding from hate speech, is when somebody directly decides that he's going to say things to like incite violence, or sort of cause one person to cause harm to another person, maybe like cause some kind of tribal war, or some kind of issue that has to do with personal attack, okay, being unnecessarily offensive to people that are in certain high places or authority. So this is for us to actually make sure that there is a level of peace and organization in this country, and then there's a level of balance that the president hopes that he will bring with regards to the new media era. Okay, so it's a bit dicey. Okay, I think where most of us are getting it wrong is it's very difficult to distinguish between hate speech and actually sharing your opinion or criticizing somebody's opinion. Okay, because if somebody will perceive something that some other person says as a hate speech, normally it comes from their own personal evaluation of what they define as hate speech. Okay, because to one person you can say something like, "Oh, Charlie," maybe you can say a certain tribe against another tribe and say something. To one person, you might not see it as necessarily something that's offensive, but to another person, they might pick it as a bit of an offense. So there is no accurate way to sort of have a clear cut, like a distinct way to sort of draw the line between hate speech and criticisms. But it's mainly, I think the difference is just the intent. Okay, if somebody is sharing their political opinion and you feel like, okay, you will disagree with them, and then maybe share opinions and exchange, do banter, that one is, I don't think that it falls within the range of hate speech. But hate speech is like intentionally inciting violence, saying things to push one person against another, to cause a fight, to destabilize the peace of Ghana. And I believe that Mr. President, we gave him the mantle of leadership to make sure that, the country Ghana itself, in all its forms or in all its aspects, is well taken care of. And if this is one of the reasons, if this is one of the aspects that he believes has to be taken care, I believe that is a good approach, because we've recently seen a lot of cases of people having to switch on a phone, a camera on them, and then seeing a lot of things. Last time I chanced upon a guy that was saying that they should kill everybody, even including journalists. Like, he was just saying that they should kill everyone. Whenever you meet someone, you should just kill them, because he feels like they are sharing the national cake among themselves, and a certain section of the people are not enjoying. Okay, so an example of this qualifies as a hate speech, because he's inciting violence, and what he's saying can actually cause someone to go and take a decision that, or involve themselves in a decision that maybe might cause disunity or might threaten the national peace. So in a certain sense, that's what the president, I believe, from my perspective, I go what he said. I didn't really hear anything else. So I don't hear anything, to be honest. I'm trying to be very fair, and because he didn't say anything in relation to the fact that even if you say anything, they will come and arrest you. I don't know. I've not heard that one. But in a sense that he said that it's in relation to hate speech, things that will incite violence and will cause some level of disunity among Ghanaians, is something that he believes that they should find the right way to regulate it. So if you wondered what the president's remarks on hate speech means, personally, this is what I think it's clear that that's what he said. And some other people are getting it a bit twisted. Personally, I don't think that he said anything that most of us have not really experienced online. Sometimes, in as much as we share our opinion, sometimes some people are a bit offensive with your opinions and comments. And if you are considerate of other people's feelings online, and you are able to sort of, I mean, how do I say it? You are sort of, I mean, think through before, in a certain sense, before you post certain things. I don't think you find yourself in a situation whereby you would have to be carried away by national security or maybe the National Signal Bureau. It's like that. I mean, if you are considerate online and you are careful with the things that you say, not necessarily say that you shouldn't speak I mean, you shouldn't share your opinion on things, but not to incite violence, to tell somebody that Charlie make you go kill somebody or make you go do so. No, no, no. That one, it is poor country. It is poor country. So if the president spoke about that, I feel like it was the right thing to. Personally, I feel it was the right thing to do to sort of make sure that we regulate it, because new media is evolving, and very soon it will expand to a very big platform. It will expand. So if there are no measures that are put in place to ensure that some of these hate speech and things that incite violence are actually regulated, it will worry us a lot. Yes, and it's for you and I's protection. I believe personally, this is devoid of any level of politics, but strictly on nation building and how to actually make sure that the country Ghana is in a good place. So that's what personally I feel like the president a remark on the new media and the IP address thing in relation to the National Signal Bureau actually meant. So if you've heard something somewhere, you can make your deduction about it. That's fine. We can all agree to disagree. But personally, that's what I heard. And with that one said, I think I have to go through some of the things that he highlighted before I sign out. So I'll go through quickly. I'll run through quickly some of the key things that President highlighted with regards to his media encounter. And one of it is, he said that government to prosecute all corruption cases. Every case of corruption will be investigated and prosecuted once evidence is established. He also said that 24-hour economy bill lands in Parliament. Cabinet has officially submitted the 24-hour economy bill for legislative consideration. Looters won't escape justice. Insisting on due process may delay justice temporarily, but looters will not evade permanent accountability. Boosting productivity with bold jobs agenda. Government rolls out new initiative to create jobs and raise national productivity. And also this one is about Accra-Takoradi Road dualization underway. Major works to dualize the road will cut travel time to Cape Coast and boost tourism in the Western region. And then we also have here 1 billion for security agencies. Government allocates 1 billion to retool and strengthen national security forces. And then we have an issue about Galamsey. Galamsey fight not yet a state of emergency. President explains reluctance to declare a state of emergency, stressing existent powers not yet exhausted. Charlie, Galamsey issue Charlie, I don't know how it's going to work out, but I really hope and I really, really wish that there's going to be a way that we will come out from this whole Galamsey dilemma, because our water body is bad. Okay, and the next one is no lobbying in corruption cases. All cases will be pursued to their logical conclusion. Lobbying will not influence outcome. And this one also says Galamsey fight is a process, not an event. Government admit to no quick victory in 18 months, stressing sustained long-term strategy. Okay, interesting. So from how it looks, it doesn't look like we are going to see Galamsey. Sorry. I don't know the issue of Galamsey. I really don't know whether we will be able, like, honestly speaking, I don't think with how things are going, because every government that comes to power, when they are on the other side, they have a way that they project things with regards to how they are going to fight Galamsey. But the moment they are in the power, I feel like there are real obstacles, real impediments that they face that makes it very difficult to sort of use brutal force to actually take the whole Galamsey thing out of the system. But Charlie, it's not looking good, bro. But anyway, let's see how it goes. I mean, the government has assured that they will need some time to progressively make sure that the Galamsey is no more a thing in Ghana, and then we don't have any option but to hope and pray that whatever they've said, they will work on it. And with that one said, I'll end today's edition of Social Media Updates here. The name remains Donald, not Trump. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.